Should our enemies choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department. In other words, to our enemies, F-A-F-O. If necessary, our troops can translate that for you. Another way to put it is peace through strength, brought to you by the warrior ethos. And we are restoring both. As President Trump has said, and he's right, we have the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, and most prepared military on the planet. That is true, full stop. Nobody can touch us.
Shalom, giving all praise to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, with God Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders that we will. Peace and many salutations to you, I'm just telling this truth. I played this clip here because this clip, really exemplifies the pride of Esau Edom and also the blessings of Esau Edom. With Esau's blessing, which is the sword, alluding to Genesis, the 27th chapter, he was able to encapsulate the whole world. He was able to, put everyone under his subjection. And he believes that with that sword, he's going to continue to rule. And his rulership is going to come to naught. Okay? But it shows you, who Babylon the Great is in the Bible. That alluding to Psalms 137 and 7, that Edom is a daughter of Babylon, right? And also, Esau Edom is that great whore that sits on a beast, which is nailed, EU, alluding to Revelation, the 17th chapter, right? So, how did he get this? How did he get his rulership? Well, he got it again with that sword. Babylon the Great spends about $879 billion on its military alone. Okay, which is far greater than any other nation. Okay. And again, with his military might, he's able to dictate the actions of other nations. Okay, so let me give you a couple of stats for you guys. Now, this is a AI overview. I just asked, how much does the U.S. spend on its military? This is based on the most recent complete fiscal year. The United States spends approximately $874 billion on national defense in fiscal year 2024. For fiscal year 2025, the total national defense budget is capped at $895 billion. All right, so this dude spends billions of dollars, on military equipment, artillery, defense, and all those things, right? Actually sells a lot of his military equipment to other nations, buy loans is what we see going on with Israel and also Ukraine. Okay, so the guy spends a lot of money on the sword, essentially, right? And why is that? Well, Esau Edom has a very similar mindset to the Assyrians. The Assyrians thought that it was, ordained by their God to, and forgive me, I forget that guy's name, right? For them to, capture the whole world. And if they didn't, they would throw off the, cosmetic order. This is very similar to, what America believes. They believe that they're the police of the world, right? And with that authority, they have the right to dictate on how other countries conduct themselves. Even to when dealing with the social fabric of a nation. He topples the government and implements um, implements um, dang on um, Western culture, right? Feminism, Moism. Yeah, y'all get my drift. The alphabet community, aka Moism, in these communities, totally destroys them. You know what I'm saying? Under the banner of freedom, of democracy, right? Really, it's just imperial, uh, uh, cultural imperialism, if you will, imposing your culture on other people. And it all starts with what? That sword. Okay? So this guy has ruled with the sword, right? And the Most High is going to condemn him for this. Okay? Matter of fact, I probably got that on my list. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I do. Now this is Daniel 7:20 through 21. And the 10 horns that were in his head and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of the horn that had eyes and it spoke, that in the mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows, which this is America. Those 3 horns, that it came out of is the French, the Spanish, and British. And after those 3, great nations fell, right? What was erected from these 3 nations? America, right? And with the erection of America, you have Esau, Edom, you know, um, really dominating the whole world and speaking some very, uh, stout things, man, right? And even, boasting over his own people, other Edomites, man, right? As I'm speaking, I have a picture of Trump in my mind. How they was having that meeting with NATO, and he forced his way to the front. Had a very stout look, and also Peter Hegseth is emphasizing too. That was the man, the Edomite that was just speaking, right? He's the Secretary of Defense, or the Secretary of War. Okay, he basically said, if any of you nations try anything against us, man, you're gonna F around and find out. That's what FAFO stands for, right? Very stout and powerful look, man. Okay, right? I beheld the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. Right. So this is, this is the people who, were able to bring us down low. Right. With us being brought down low, if you were to read further in this in this particular chapter here. The Most High is going to give victory unto the saints by his son Yahushua. Okay? All right? But Esau Edom, man, he has to be exposed for his wickedness. And in a huge way he's going to be exposed is his tongue, the things that he says, man. Psalms 12, 1 through 5. To the chief musician upon Shemaneth, a psalm of David. Help, Yahweh, for the godly man ceaseth, for the faithful fell from among the children of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor, with flattery lips, and with a double heart do they speak. Yahweh shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh proud things, who has said, with our tongues will we prevail, our lips are our own, who is Lord over us? Right? So the Most High is going to cut down Esau Edom in his proud tongue, right? You know, Esau Edom believes that he could be powerful and boast, you know, in his military might, right? And with his military might, you know, he's able to uh, set up, you know, all these false narratives like pseudoscience, you know, right? Or even using religion as a way uh, to rationalize him, you know, putting the true nation of Israel into complete subjection, right? And now contemporarily, he has these very talking points, you know, that he uses to justify his hatred towards us. So-called black fatigue, you know, like Esau Edom has always had vehement hatred towards the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, right? But he used all these mantras and things of that nature, you know, to renew his hatred. Well, the Most High is going to do away with that, man. You know? Right? The Most High is going to do away with that. And it's going to happen by a war. Esau Edom is going to F-A-F-O. Right? For the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of needy. Now will I arise, saith Yahweh. I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him. And you look at that word puffeth means snare, basically snares at him, you know what I'm saying? The Most High gonna do away with that bullshit, man. Okay? He's gonna make it happen. Right? Though we are oppressed, though we are in a dilapidated state, right? The Most High's gonna have it to where we you know, are able to, you know, prevail against this man and his wickedness, bro. Okay? Nahum 3, 1 through 6. Woe to the bloody city, is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. Right? Esau, you know, has created all these wars, you know, under false narratives, right? Under really white supremacy, you know, destroying various people in their own land, right? By military might. Esau Edom gonna have to pay for that, bro. Right? The whip, the noise of the whip, and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and the prancing horses, and the jumping chariots. The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glaring spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none in of their corpse. They stumble upon their corpses, right? So what we just read, that was, you know, ancient artillery, right? And what, you know, that the Assyrians would use to, destroy people, or we can liken that unto Esau Edom now, what he does with his, you know, uh, his military might, you know what I'm saying, or how much he spends on defense, right? And it's funny how they say this, we use it for defense, but he's always on the offense, right? This man spends this year $895 billion on war equipment and war alone, bruh. Right? And this dude is always coming up with different reasons to enter into somebody else's land and destroy those people. Right? Why is that? Because shit, he can't help it. He's a damn devil. Okay? He's a damn devil. Okay? Right? And in these various religions, religion, the denominations of religion, Christianity is used as, a rationalization to do all this wicked shit, bro. You know? And the Most High is gonna judge for that, man. Verse 4, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, we just kind of expounded on that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. Behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. That's right, the Most High is going to bring Babylon the Great very low. Okay? He's going to eventually destroy this place, where this place is not going to be inhabited by anybody. It's going to be vile war. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Micah 2, 1-4. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. They cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. I look at the various wars that he has conducted in the Middle East, so-called Middle East, which is really Asia, right? Right? Create all these false narratives, going there and just slaughter people. There's a damn genocide going on right now. Yet, somehow, some way, you Edomites are tired of everybody else. Well, if somebody say they're tired of you, then it's reverse racism. Right? You use all these fucking words, these great swelling words, to hide your guilt. Okay? And the Most High sees you, bro. And he's going to judge you, man. Therefore thus said Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go heartily, for this time is evil. In that day shall one take up a parable against you in a lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, we be utterly spoiled. He has changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our field. So all the wickedness of you Edomites, man, is now being perceived, right? And this is how we know that judgment is about to ensue, right? We know judgment is about to ensue because the sins of Esau Edom is being pointed out now. Esau Edom is using all these mantras and things of that nature to hide his guilt, right, or to dismiss his guilt. But these various movements are not going to work, right? The MAGA movement, the Black Fatigue movement, the anti-woke movement, all these things they're not going to work. Which we're not woke, we're not so-called black, we're not none of those things. These are words that you've used to demonize us, It's good set against evil. You Edomites have done evil in the planet Earth, and therefore you're going to receive, the evil in which you have produced. And your words are not going to be able to save you, bro. Isaiah 47, 8 through 15. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Right? Or we're the greatest nation. This is what Esau says in America. We're the greatest nation. Nobody can beat us. Nobody's going to stop us. FAFO, mess around and find out. Yeah, America, right? I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, in the multitude of for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thy enchantments. That's right. So all the sorcery that you have produced, right? Pseudoscience, you know what I'm saying? Christian nationalism. All these things are going to be to your detriment, Esau Edom. Okay? For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. That's right. So by, pseudoscience like evolution, you have made yourself to be uh, the number one species, the human on planet Earth. Via Christianity, you made nationalism. You have made yourself what the neo Israelites. All these various movements that you have made is going to come to naught. Okay. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou may prevail. Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Yeah, so with your technology and things of that nature, stand with your AI, stand with your CERN, stand with your things and see if it is going to stop the will of the Heavenly Father. You're going to be surprised when it doesn't, right? Your military might also, which you worship, right? It's not going to be able to stop the will of the Heavenly Father. Behold, thou shalt be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame, right? Nuclear destruction is coming to this place. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter. None shall save it. So yeah, even your economic endeavors is not going to be able to save you, right? Esau Edom, you're in a position to where you're ripe for the picking. The other nations are going to come against you, and ultimately the Most High is going to take His favor from you. He allowed you to rule to a certain point, right? And you've done a horrible job as a ruler of the world, and so the Most High is going to take you out. Your mantras, your logic, your military prowess is not going to prevail in that day. You're going to be destroyed by the Heavenly Father, Edomites. Yahweh Bashim Hashah Bashim Kragadas, the water. Shalom.